Hi guys, it's Sam from Creatively Sam's, and this is my Yankee Doodle teddy. It's all ready for the upcoming patriotic holidays. I think this is going to stay in our booth for the remainder of the summer. And they're already having a good time. If you want to see how I did this, stay tuned. It's coming up next. The first thing I did was get this foam at Walmart, and it's about an inch thick. And I'll be cutting this to fit the area that I'm going to be putting my little vignette in. And we'll be back once I get that done. I finally broke down and made myself a pattern for the corner of my booth, which is where I want this to go. And I cut the styrofoam to fit that pattern, and it needed lengthened. So what I did was I broke some round wooden toothpicks in half, placed them in there. I'm going to put some white glue in here and then push tight. And then the base will be ready. Okay, I put some Aleene's Turbo Tacky on the end of the piece of styrofoam, and I'm just going to press that. And I'm going to set it aside until it dries. And I thought I'd show you a couple little tricks to working with styrofoam. When you cut styrofoam, use a serrated knife. It makes it so much easier and cuts actually better than an X-Acto knife. And if you have a piece that needs to be sanded down, use another piece of styrofoam. And it works just like sandpaper. No extra cost. While that's drying, we'll get on to the next part. Okay, I've got some velour here, and I'm cutting it so that it's a little bit bigger than the size of the styrofoam so that it can tuck under. And I'm going to be cutting around here, and then I'm going to use sequin pins to tuck it underneath. And that'll be the base. Okay, I cut the fabric and I flipped it over, and now I'm just pulling it taut and using the little sequin pins to hold them all in place. And I'm doing them kind of sideways. And that way I don't have to worry about it going all the way through. And it gives it a better hold. At least I think it does. And I'll be back when I get that done. Okay, I've got the back all pinned up. And it's nice and taut for the right side. And it's all ready to go on to the next phase. Okay, for me to judge how high I needed the dowel rods, I put the little teddy bear that I'm going to be using in the center. And I got this a while back. And this seems to be just about the right height. And I'm going to be putting one in each corner. And I think I'm going to paint them either red or white. I haven't decided which one. But I think that's going to be high enough. I decided to add a little of the ribbon that I got in my haul to the entire outside of it, just to give it a little more patriotic theme. It's not necessary, but I liked it. And I added it by hot gluing it. Okay, while I was painting, I did the dowels for the 3 corners. And I had some wooden barrels. And I base coated it white. And I'm going to be adding red and blue to that. This is going to be the drum. And to make the drumsticks, I took a skewer and I put a small wooden ball on the end and cut it down so that it would fit. And I just used some wire cutters to do that. So, we're on to the next. Well, I got done painting the little barrel, and I added some of the stickers that I got from my haul. And these little drumsticks will be glued on top. And I cut one of the dowel rods to roughly 6 inches, and I'm going to put some black dots on it so that it looks like a flute. And the prep work is almost done. Okay, now that I have all the little parts done, I decorated the bears. I put the little hats on that I got in the haul, and the little flag. And I added some bows, a little tie, a little bow tie, and the little drum is done. And this thing is almost ready to be put together. Okay, it's time to start putting this together. And putting this down in here, but I want to cut the velour so that it goes all the way down into the styrofoam. And then I'm going to put some hot glue in there. And I'm going to repeat for the other 3, or the other 2. Okay, I cut this part off of the necklaces, and I used upholstery thread to tie a red, silver, and blue together. And I used an X-Acto knife to put a slit in the top of the dowel rod. Be careful. That one slipped. Okay, what I'm going to do next is put some glue down into the slit of the back one and slide the thread in it. Okay, I slid the thread down into the slot that I made, and then I wrapped the thread around the top and I glued it as I went. And I'm just going to cut off the excess. And then I'm going to separate them and tie up the ends so that it will go over to this one. And I'll repeat the same thing by gluing into the slot and then wrapping it around and gluing it as I go. And all I'm doing is going between the little stars, and then I'm going to tie it up. And I'm going to knot it real well. And this is really much easier to do if you would have help, but I don't. And they are tied. And knotted. Now this is going to go into the slit. I had these little flags for decorating cupcakes, so I put them at the top of the rod just to help hide the glue. And so far I think this is turning out okay. Okay, now I'm going to put my little teddy bears in, and they are going to be hot glued in place. I think this one is probably going to be coming out every year. Push them down in there. And the little drum. And this one. And last but not least, the little girl bear. And other than cleaning up the glue threads, I think this is about done and ready to be put in place. Okay, I decided to add a couple of flags in the back, putting them in the same way that I did the rods. And these are all glued, and I think they're ready to go. I hope you liked my Yankee Doodle teddy. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and happy creating, everyone.